Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fire Team Base with another review. Today is Call of Duty World War II, and here with me, as always, is Reeps. What's going on, bud?
What up, bees? How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm ecstatic, dude. This game is bad ass, and Call of Duty finally came through clutch. It's been a few years since they have.
I agree. I liked it. I had enjoyed my time with it thus far, and we've definitely logged some hours in. I'm glad we waited to do this review until we actually got to really dig into each game mode. Unlike a lot of people that just kind of threw a review out there after just touching the game. So I'm glad we
Yeah.
waited. I think it'll come out good.
Yeah, unlike those bum suckers. All right, so getting right into it, man. We're gonna go over campaign, multiplayer, and zombies. So let's start off with the campaign. What'd you think about it?
It was good. I liked it. It looks great, especially the part on D-Day. Right when the game starts, that gave me chills. I really, really like that. It was good. I like the story. I like how they changed it up with the health bars and your squad mates and everything. It was good. It was a little bit different, but not so different that I couldn't feel the Call of Duty-ness, if you will. How about you? What'd you feel?
Yeah, now you think another World War II story. Well, they found a way to make it good. Now, there have been, other Call of Duties in the past that have done this, and World at War being one of them. But they really found a way to kind of revitalize the World War II campaign, especially in the beginning. Great graphics, the best I've seen in a while, especially with 4K. Can't wait to see what it looks like on the Xbox One X. And I really did like the campaign, man. So they did a great job on that,
I
definitely.
I definitely like the campaign too. I don't feel like it was the best story Call of Duty's ever told. I still think I like the Modern Warfare's for that, but I feel like it was good, and I stayed entertained throughout, so that's good.
What'd you think of the multiplayer?
For the multiplayer, I would say it's a step in the right direction. There's no jetpacks or anything like that. There's no jumping around or anything goofy like that. It's back to boots on the ground, and I really liked it. I did feel like the hit markers were a little wonky, especially with snipers. There'd be times where I saw guys take some shots where they weren't even close to it, and took some shots myself like that, but we're still getting kills. So I didn't care for that, and I don't care for the way they have it set up where it's almost impossible to use a suppressor. They really weakened them, and you're pretty restricted in your options for getting a suppressor. And I understand that that's for the time period, but I didn't like that you still show up on the maps. So basically, in this Call of Duty, as opposed to others, if you kill somebody, everyone of his buddies that's even close to that area is going to know exactly where you are. So it can be kind of annoying and kind of hard to keep those longer kill streaks going. There's nothing worse than when you sneak up on a group and then you get turned on before you can kill all three of them.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. And you gotta think, internet connection has come a long way. There are a lot of areas that have gigabit per second speed, and that's gonna come to a big advantage. I've seen it already numerous times, especially in this game. So I did also enjoy the multiplayer. Definitely a step in the right direction. But Sledgehammer did do this game, and the last Sledgehammer game that we had, Advanced Warfare, definitely had a little issue with their hitboxes. Kind of improved in this one, but overall, it's a good experience. The guns are good, and I do like the way they separated the class systems. It's a little different, it'll take some getting used to, but if I had to give you some advice right now, I would say start off with infantry and use the first gun that you get.
I'm actually going to disagree with you on the classes. Another thing I didn't like about it is, at least with the pick 10 system that they've used in the past, you could kind of design your multiplayer soldier to play how you want him to, as opposed to this where you have four or five distinct kind of classes that you have to play as, and they're only good at one thing. You could never mix and match and kind of set your guy up the way you wanted to. I thought it was a step back with taking out that level of customization, but it's just interesting. It's different this year, and it's nothing that's going to make me not want to keep playing the game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with some of that, but the thing is, where I think they were heading was kind of fulfilling the need for the hardcore gamers out there being done with it really quick. It gives it more of a chance to kind of get more gameplay out before getting bored. You get all the infantry stuff done, then you go over to the airborne, the mountain, and etc. I just think they did that more for that reason.
I would have just rather them have give you the choice, but like I said, to each his own.
Yeah, I guess they also could switch up the leveling system. Maybe go back to Modern Warfare style and make it 75 levels before you prestige. What do you think about that?
I don't think it's taking too long to prestige. I think it's decent in the amount of time it takes. The options there if you want to do it. I know a lot of people don't. They just stay at the topped out level, but I feel like this has a pretty good rhythm to it. I didn't like some of the older Call of Duties where it took just absolutely forever on the grind to level up. So, I think it's pretty fair as it is now.
If you had to give someone some advice starting off, maybe not their first Call of Duty, but their first grounds on the boots on the ground Call of Duty, what would you have them know? What kind of tactical advice would you give them?
Understand what your gun and your division is good at and try to put yourself in situations to maximize that. If you want to rush them, put on airborne where you're faster and you get a suppressor and you're good with SMGs and then just focus on closing the distance between you and the enemies. If you're looking for a more balanced playset, go with infantry and an assault rifle. If you're going to go, sniper, you've got the mountain class for that too. Just learn what your everything's good at, and then focus on putting yourself in the right situations to use those.
You hear that, everyone? If you have a question, let us know. We'll gladly answer it. We have the tactical guru over here, Reaps, and he will gladly give you his opinion on what he thinks best suits your style of gameplay. So just remember, always hit us up in the comments. Moving on to Nazi zombies. How do you think, did it improve or did it not improve?
Well, I like the map. They changed it up a little bit where there's no juggernaut. You get this armor instead. And I like the size of the map and the availability, all the different guns. And I wasn't crazy about the loadout. And I got to say, my biggest complaint this year is the characters. They're just annoying. As I'm sure this is taken on more of a horror setting than, in games past where it was a little more cartoonish. But in that setting, your guy will get surprised by a zombie and he'll just scream and he'll just be like, "Ah!" And let me tell you, when you hear that 10,000 times because you made it to level 20, which is not even that deep of a dive into zombies, it gets old fast. There were times I just played it without the sound because I could not take it anymore.
Dude, so there are four characters at first, and you obviously can unlock some more when you go along. And I had the pleasure of playing with Ving Rhames, and let me tell you, man, the sounds that he made are ridiculous. It was pretty comical, but um, in comparison to other zombies, I feel like this one is definitely more horror-ish. And the sound, I don't like the fact that the zombies talk at all, but some of the sounds they make are awesome, man. They're spot on. Like if you're playing by yourself and you're in the cave, man, dude, when those sounds echo, you're just like, holy crap, I gotta get the hell out of here.
I didn't think it was bad. Like I said, if they could have just made the other characters learn to be quiet a little bit more, I think that would have been good. And I'm a zombie veteran. Believe me, back in Black Ops, they used to say the same three lines over and over and over again. But I gotta say, just in my short time here, I've gotten more tired of the dialogue in this one than I ever did in Black Ops, which is saying something because I played some Kino like there was no end back in the day. So yeah, I mean, it is one thing that I'll have to look into the options and see if I can turn off their dialogue.
Yeah, I'll still never get over the moon and transit, but this map was definitely better than previous at least the last 2 years of zombies. 3 years I should say of zombies.
Like I said, it's not as outlandish, but it was a rather large map. It stayed interesting. I enjoyed playing it. I really have no complaints with it, and I kind of like the horror aesthetic that they're throwing off. Um, but like I said, there were times where, especially if you go late into one of these games, if you played around 35, 40, 45, you are going to be tired of listening to these guys. I'm telling you now.
And I really do think they made it a little easier to get to later rounds like that, but now they introduced bosses, like zombie bosses, I guess, if you will, where they are pretty big. They do significant damage. Once again, I can't stress enough. I wish they would just adopt the old school mentality of zombies. No classes, no special powers. To me, that takes away from zombies a little bit. But they got to make the new age crowd happy, and doing that is throwing flash and colors and stuff everywhere in the game. So I'm not a big fan of it, but I guess it'd be a good idea from now on if they did do like a classic. Like you can switch to a classic mode where there are no special power ups and stuff like that, and kind of get the zombie veterans back into wanting to play zombies.
I totally agree. I think part of the fun in zombies was just starting with almost nothing or next to nothing, and then having to really build yourself up and kind of scramble to find your guns and everything. I don't necessarily like where you can pick a loadout to start and all the rest of it either. But that being said, it's still a pretty solid zombies experience. I feel like they could have done a lot worse than they did.
All right, Reaps, moment of truth, buddy. What is your official fire team base rating?
Drum
Drum
roll,
roll, please.
please.
I'm going to give it a 7.2. It's good. I think this Call of Duty could have been named Call of Duty on the right track. And I'm excited to see, honestly, the next Call of Duty, to be honest. I think they're headed in a great direction, and I'm ready to see something that Infinity Ward or Treyarch is going to do. Just one of those developers that's had Call of Duty for a long time and know what they're doing with it. And they're definitely on the right track. I'm excited to see it.
Well, I got to give it an 8.1. Definitely a step in the right direction. I thought it was great. And I think that's probably why I gave it 8.1. Call of Duty has just been shat to me the last few years. So seeing this, the way it plays, the way it feels, just it's a breath of fresh air. Um, you know, there haven't been too many FPS shooters that have come out lately that have been like super great, especially this year. Everything's kind of old now. So I did like it a lot. I am looking forward to it. I don't think I'll be getting any DLC for this game, but I have to say, man, I just can't say enough about the way this game plays so far, and I can't wait to keep logging in some more hours, man. I definitely have a high replay value on this game right now.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it, and I think I'm going to buy the DLC in single installments instead of as a season pass. I know I might wind up paying more for it in the end of the day, but we'll see. I think it's probably more economical to do that than it is to buy a season pass and forget about this game 3 months in. So we'll see how much staying power it has, but it's certainly on a good start.
All right, guys, that does it for our review of Call of Duty World War II. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with more unboxings, game reviews, and etc.
And let us know down in the comments any questions or concerns you have with this Call of Duty, whether you're going to be picking it up or if you just want to discuss any sort of strategy. Let us know down below, and we'll get right back to you on it.
For Fire Team Base, bees out, slag.
Keep reaping, guys.